Okay, so we're Film at Wonder, and we're here today with Amany Khalil. Amany is a graduate from the American University of Cairo. She majored in business with a minor in economics and graduated 1990. She then worked at MI Bank and then American Express. Me Bank, sorry. And then American Express, and she traveled to the US in 1993, where her husband pursued a PhD, and she became involved in aerobics and then qualified as a aerobics fitness instructor in 1998, wasn't it? And since 1999, you've ran 16 marathons. Tell me a bit more about yourself, please.
I am a mother of 2 sons in college, also at AUC. And like you said, I was working in the bank first. And then when I went with my husband to support him for his PhD, I decided to get more involved with sports. Before, I used to play basketball when I was in college and when I was in primary school. And then when I got married, I decided to, when I went to the United States and found everybody's running in the street and it's possible and it was okay and early in the morning, I decided to pursue the running. Someone paid attention to how good I was running, and they decided that I should start, that I should go into a 5K race. And that's how it began, from the 5K until I got to the marathons.
That's fantastic. And you returned to Egypt in 1999. Since you've taken part in 16 marathons. So how has it been taking that experience that you had in America and bringing it back to Egypt and continuing to pursue what is, I guess, a very big passion of yours?
It is a big passion, of course. When I returned back from the United States, I was worried that I was not going to be able to run in the streets like I did in the US. But where I live, I guess it was okay. It wasn't a problem. It wasn't a big problem because I live on an island, so it's a bit limited to. There's not a lot of traffic, and it was safe. So I was able to pursue my running, and I was very happy with it. And then I got into the Luxor Marathon, which is a very popular marathon here in Cairo, Egypt, which I did not know about when I was in the States. But when people knew that, some of my friends knew that I wanted to pursue the running, they said, why don't you go and try it out? When I went and tried it out, and I succeeded, and I came in 3rd place, this was where the marathons, I said, I'm going to continue doing a marathon every year, abroad or in Egypt. And I continued running.
That's fantastic. And I know that you also do other things. You swim, you cycle, you partook in the triathlon.
Yes.
2 times, is that correct?
Exactly.
And how was that?
Well, like let's say the running, I continued running until my kids were still in primary school. Once they entered college, I found out that I had more time. And it also, again, it came by coincidence. This young lady came to me asking about the marathons and how I could help her with the marathons. And then I noticed that she rides a bike. And so I said, what do you do? She says, I'm in the triathlon. I said, what is that? And she said, it's about swimming and then cycling and then running. And I said, do you think I could do the same? Could I try it out? She said, go get a bike and come ride with us one of the Fridays, because you only could ride on Friday or Saturday here. So I went and got a bike, and I rode with her, and I got better as I practiced. And I decided to go to my first, it was a duathlon, because I was still not confident with my swimming yet. So I started that in Guna, and then Sahla Hashish was in 2014. I entered the first triathlon event taking place, Olympic, in Egypt, and that was in Sahla Hashish. And I entered that, and I came in 5th, and then I progressed from there.
Congratulations, that's incredible.
Thank you.
And, well, you mentioned fearing the return here to Egypt, that you wouldn't be able to continue with your runs and so on. In a country like Egypt, where gender roles are very defined, how have you faced those challenges and overcome them?
Yeah, it was not easy, of course, especially for a woman. You don't usually find women running in the streets of Cairo because it's not common in our culture, and that's what I'm hoping that I would encourage now after I have achieved all these, especially the ironman, that it will help women go, because I did all my practice here in Egypt. It will help women become more confident and more safe that they could go out and run in the streets. At first, yes, I was harassed, but then once the people got to see me doing it every day, then they knew that I was serious about it and I'm doing it for something bigger than what they thought it was in the first place. And that's my tournaments, and especially that I represent Egypt outside, abroad. So they became actually now more encouraging. So it became easier. And I think sports now in Egypt has become more popular. Now you see so many of the younger generations going to do the CrossFit, going cycling on weekends, running outside. So it's picking up.
And that's fantastic to hear. And I guess that is if you had to give one piece of advice to young women in Egypt at the moment who perhaps will face similar challenges that you face, what would that advice be?
I would tell them really, just to me, because it's so important, follow your dream. I mean, I had that dream that I wanted to make something big out of my sports, and it came later, so it doesn't matter how old you are, because like I said, when I turned 50 is when I got the Ironman, and to me, I never thought it would be possible, but I did go after it. So I want the women of Egypt to always think, because when they get married, they tend to neglect themselves, and they focus on their kids and focus on their husbands, which is okay, but it's still, you can have something for your own self. I want that to happen for the Egyptian woman.
It's fantastic. And well, you're clearly a very happy person. You give out this fantastic energy, which is wonderful.
That's from sports, by the way. From sports, by the way.
well, and with that, how would you define happiness?
How would I define happiness? Just feeling good about yourself. Really, when I do my sports every day, I could finish the rest of my day enjoying it because I feel good about it. That I did something good for my body. Sports for me, it's my medicine of life, and I know later on it's going to even improve my quality of life when I get older. I don't have to go to the doctor as often. I am using my muscles the right way, especially bone density. So that makes me happy. Why not?
It's fantastic. Well, thank you so much for your time, and we hope that you keep on pursuing your marathons and triathlons and duathlons and inspiring young women in Egypt to pursue their dreams.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.